Good evening, please be seated. Tonight we meet to recognize those who have achieved success in the classroom. Academic awards tonight are presented for student achievement in Term 2. In particular, we're going to recognize students in the following categories. Students who've demonstrated significant academic improvement, students who've achieved academic honors, students who've earned a place on the headmaster's list, students who've earned a place on the chair's list, and finally, students who've earned the highest average in their grade. Now, there is one more award to be given. It'll be tomorrow. It's the Black Sweater Award, and we'll present that at Assembly. We're really fortunate this evening to have Stanstead alumna Kelly Foran with us, and she's going to speak to us a little later on. But to begin our evening, we'd like to recognize the incredible efforts and talents of one student in particular, and I'd ask Mrs. Smith, please, to come and tell the story and to do the presentation. Mrs. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. So on February 27th, 77,691 students in grade 9, 10, and 11 sat down to write the University of Waterloo math contests. In grade 9, they wrote the Pascal contest. In grade 10, they wrote the Cayley contest. And in grade 11, they wrote the Fermat contest. Now, the majority of you have written at least one of these, so you know what they're all about. The first 10 questions are really easy. You think, oh, I'm a genius, I've got this. And then you start the next 10 questions, and they get progressively harder. And you think, okay, I've got to think of that formula. I know I learned it last year. And then you get to the last 5 questions, and it's like, holy smokes, I've never seen this, and it's going to take me 10 years to solve it. Anyways, just before we returned from break, I got the unofficial results, and I finally got the results, the official results, the medals, and the certificates in the mail on Tuesday, so I'm going to present those tomorrow at Assembly. However, this evening, I'm privileged to make a very special presentation. Just under a week ago, I got a package from the University of Waterloo, and in it was a letter addressed to Mr. Wolf and myself. And the letter commended one of our students for being among the top 80 students who wrote these exams. These 80 students were being invited to an all-expenses-paid math camp/conference at the University of Waterloo in May. Now, you remember how many people I said wrote the contests? 77,000. And the top 80, and one of them is sitting in this room. In fact, this student earned the highest score that I've ever seen on any one of these tests, and I've been doing this for a really long time. In the past 17 years here at Stanstead, only one other student was invited to this conference. So how good was the score? Well, a total of 21 tests on all 3 contests got a perfect score of 150. Our student earned the 11th highest score overall on the Cayley contest, and this test was written by 20,000 students worldwide. He got the highest score in Quebec, and he's in the top 0.05% of all those who wrote. And in addition to being invited to the Waterloo conference, he's been invited to a conference at the University of Ottawa the last week of June. The final crowning moment for him at the Canadian Team Mathematics Contest held at St. George's School last week, he tied for the highest individual score. It's my firm belief that this young man has a very promising future in the field of mathematics. As we gather here this evening to recognize and celebrate academic success and excellence, I ask you to join me in congratulating your fellow Spartan, Jiang Roy Liu, on his achievement and success.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. Well done, Roy. That's phenomenal. I'd ask Mr. Wolf, please, to come forward and introduce our guest speaker. Mr. Wolf.
Gives me great pleasure to welcome Kelly Foran tonight. And Kelly sent a little biography that I'd like to read. Kelly is a physics teacher at John Abbott College in St. Anne de Bellevue, Quebec, and a recent Master of Science graduate from the University of Toronto. She graduated from Stanstead College in 2012 And after that, she attended Hamilton College in Clinton, New York, where she played both hockey and rugby. She then transferred to Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. In 2016, she completed her Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Physics with first-class honors and earned the Dr. R.N. Varma Gold Medal in Physics, the Harry A. Sheffield Prize in Mathematics, and the Mathematics and Computer Science Prize. While at Mount A, she spent 2 summers performing research on the use of X-ray fluorescence to detect trace elements in for medical purposes, and her work was supported by both the New Brunswick Health Research Foundation and the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada. Also during her time at Mount A, Kelly helped to coach the first ever girls rugby team at the local high school and was a founding member of Girls in Physics Day, an event bringing local girls aged 13 and 14 to campus to participate in physics-related demos and activities with the hopes of encouraging interest in science. Following graduation, she spent a summer researching X-ray technology at Carleton University in Ottawa with the support of a second NSERC grant before attending the University of Toronto for her Master's of Science in Physics. And after just 10 months, Kelly was offered a position teaching physics at Sir John Abbott College, requiring her to complete her MSc early. She did so and began teaching in August of 2017. Now that's her introduction and bio. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her time at Stanstead College, and it is not any exaggeration to say that Kelly is one of the finest students and student athletes ever to attend Stanstead. She arrived in grade 10 as a Stanstead scholar. Take a look at the board and find out how many students we've had who have actually been Stanstead scholars in their grade 10 year. She finished grade 10 with a 92% average. She won the Burke's Bronze Medal for the highest overall average in grade 10 and started a habit that would only finish after she graduated. She won at baccalaureate in grade 10 the history, biology, chemistry, physics, French, math, English, and public speaking prizes. In grade 11, she won the Governor General's Medal for the highest overall academic average in grade 11, winning the English, biology, chemistry, economics, and physics prizes, the A.P. Gordon Prize for Science, the McGill Science Award. And in grade 12, she capped that off by taking AP Calculus, AP Chemistry, AP English, AP Physics, Linear, and Biology, won the Burke's Silver Medal, highest overall average in grade 12, won the grade 12 Biology, Chemistry, English, Math, and Physics prizes, the Spofforth Trophy for Excellence in Math and Science. She was a school prefect. She was a 3-sport athlete playing a varsity sport every single term. Soccer and cross-country running in the fall. Hockey, where she won a major S, played for teams that won over 100 games during the course of her 3 years. Rugby. And she also played in the jazz band. She was a member of the Spectrum group, putting out the yearbook. And I think just to show you, I don't know what else she did. I think she had fun as well. Someone who was really well liked, really well respected, obviously involved in a lot. But the thing that I think Kelly really had a good handle on was keeping everything in perspective. And I want to read you, I don't know if you remember this, Kelly, but your prefect speech from your grade 12 year. And I just want to read a few lines from it because I think while Kelly had a very demanding schedule and challenged herself, she did that without any outward signs of the pressure affecting her. And I think it's because of some of the things that she said in her prefect speech. Life is a journey because it's made up of hundreds of these small flashes. Life is the people we meet, the challenges we overcome, and the laughs we have. Life is not a destination because it does not simply start at some point, and it's always changing. She went on to say, my challenge for you is to enjoy the journey. Live the moment and forget the future. Those things you look forward to will happen eventually, and if they don't, at least you haven't wasted time waiting. And she'd said, I'd like to finish with a quote from Alfred de Souza. For a long time, it seemed to me that life was about to begin, real life. But there was always some obstacle in the way, something to go through first, some unfinished business, some time still to be served, some debt still to be paid. Then life would begin. At last it dawned on me that these obstacles were real life. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Kelly Foran.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you this evening. It's a little surreal to be addressing you tonight. It was 6 years ago that I graduated from Stanstead, and although that may seem like a long time to some of you, it really feels like just yesterday that I was in your position. When Mr. Wolf first got in contact with me about tonight, I was quite unsure of what advice I could possibly impart on you. To be honest, in a lot of ways, I feel that I have spent the last 6 years stumbling around in the dark, and that my time since Stanstead has been filled with indecision and uncertainty. Along my journey, I have arrived at many crossroads. I was always making pros and cons lists and trying to assign a value to intangibles like enjoyment, passion, security, and pride. The biggest lesson I have learned along the way is that you cannot plan for everything, and that sometimes the best choice is the one that is uncertain, undefined, and even a little scary. While it is extremely important to have dreams and goals, you need to leave room to be flexible in your view of both yourself and your future. My advice for you tonight, and especially for those of you who will graduate this year, is to not be afraid to get in the way of your own plan. Something that became quickly apparent after I left Stanstead is that graduating from this place provides a wonderful foundation off which to succeed at any goal you have. You have learned how to meet new people, how to find your way in a new environment, how to interact with peers from a wide range of backgrounds, and how to manage your time well and how to work really, really hard. Having been exposed to great teachers, engaging classes, competitive sports, and worthwhile clubs and activities, you will eventually leave here with all the tools that you need to succeed. However, something that no amount of great education can prepare you for is total and complete freedom. At some point, every part of your life will be completely your decision. It will be up to you to choose what path you want to pursue. You will probably leave here with some sort of plan. For some of you, this plan will be vague and even feel a little bit forced, and that's perfectly okay. For others, this plan will feel so certain that you're going to spend the rest of my talk thinking, that's not going to be me. I was in that latter group. When I left here, I had a plan. I was going to go to Hamilton College, I was going to take physics, I was going to play hockey, and after 4 awesome years, I was going to go to medical school. I was really, really certain of this plan. But then I realized that imagining something and actually living it are two very different scenarios. I made my first independent decision about a week into school when I decided to join the rugby team, even though this didn't make my hockey coach very happy. But I loved rugby. It had quickly become one of my favorite activities at Stanstead, and I just wasn't ready to give it up yet. So I joined. Another detour came when I had to transfer from Hamilton. My first year had been totally on course. I was playing 3 semesters of sports, and I was part of the pre-med club. But transferring to Mount Allison University in New Brunswick left me with another decision. Do I continue to play hockey, or do I continue to play rugby? At Mount Allison, I wasn't allowed to do both. And to the surprise of many in my life, I chose to keep playing rugby. This was certainly the more unknown path. I had played hockey since I can remember, and it was really part of my identity. This led to many awkward explanations to friends and family members who had always known me as a hockey player. But it was the right decision for me. I also needed to choose what degree to pursue at my new school. I wanted to do the joint math and physics degree, but the head of my department told me there was no way I would finish that degree in 3 years, and that I'd be better off just doing a pure physics major. But again, I decided on the more uncertain path, and those upper-level math courses are some of my fondest memories of those 3 years. My next crossroads came when it was time to start applying for medical school. I had spent years studying to get the grades that I needed, and I had spent a lot of time on relevant activities like volunteering as an athletic therapist for other sports teams, and even traveling to Honduras with a group of doctors. But during that time, I had also been falling in love with my degree. And I remember when I finally admitted to myself that I was doubting my med school aspirations. But still, I clung to that idea for a while longer because, in a way, it was the safe route. In a time when employment opportunities for new graduates is really not all that great, medical school was a sure path. Being a doctor was a defined career. My parents asked what I would do instead. I told them I was going to pursue a PhD in physics. They asked, "What will you do with that?" I conceded that I really wasn't sure. When acceptances came around, I was left with another tough call. I could go to Ottawa and study medical physics, another stable, defined career path, or I could go to Toronto and start a Master's of Physics without any plan as to what my focus would be for that degree. I chose to go to Toronto. I spent the 11 months of my master's degree desperately trying to figure out what I was going to do afterwards. I bounced around about 20 ideas, and I longed for the days when I had a set plan. I had finally settled on getting my PhD and then figuring it out afterwards when my mom sent me a job posting that she had seen online. "This could be fun for a few months," is what she wrote. It was a job to teach physics at Asasia. There are not many careers that are specific to a master's in physics, so I decided to apply, even though I had never really thought about teaching. But the opening was only for 5 months, and I had been accepted to start my PhD, so again, I had another choice to make. I could take the path that was certain for at least the next 5 years, or I could take the path that required moving again, meeting another whole new group of people, and starting something that I really felt unprepared for. All for the guarantee of just 5 months. I chose to take that chance, and luckily, it is appearing to work out long term. But I chose against logic because I felt that it was what was right for me. And I love teaching physics. I'm having a really great time. Being only 23 when I started has made it a bit of a challenge to teach students who really feel like my peers, but I wouldn't change any of the decisions that have got me here. Definitely, I wouldn't change them at all. Every step of the way, I have chose the unknown and the uncertain path. But life has a funny way of working out. In a lot of ways, I have come full circle. After living in the States, New Brunswick, Ottawa, and Toronto, I am now back in Quebec. And I'm teaching the very same physics concepts that Mr. Van Dyke taught me 6 years ago, the ones that made me love physics and math. And I am also playing rugby again. It is comfortable to develop a plan when the future is an abstract concept separated from the present by 2 years, 4 years, or 8 years if you want to go to med school. I'm not saying that it is bad to have a plan. I believe that it is quite useful. Having a goal in mind is really what moves you forward at all. The mistake is being too rigid in that plan. You cannot know exactly what the next few years will hold for you, or how your interests and your priorities will change. There is a difference between doubting yourself and doubting your path. When you are considering the next 40 years of your life, you owe it to your future self to explore that doubt. Don't let the expectations of your others or yourself make you feel stuck, or even worse, make you feel like you failed. Follow your gut, question your intentions, and ultimately do what feels right for you. There are jobs out there that you have never even thought of, and opportunities that you've never imagined. No matter how windy your path may get, and how off course you may feel sometimes, you will end up at the right destination. Thank you.
Beyond the student, thank you for taking your time to come here and giving a great story tonight.
I'll do this first. Thank you so much, Kelly, for your talk. That's very appreciative. I would like to start now into the presentation of the certificates and pins. We have a huge number of certificates and pins to hand out tonight, I'm pleased to say. So here are some guidelines. If you are a student receiving an award, can you please come down this aisle? You're going to meet Kelly right about here. She's going to give you a big smile and a handshake. Then you're going to meet me right there, and I'm going to give you your certificate. And then you're going to go back to your seat down that aisle. If you're reading names, if you can read them in groups of 4 or 5, that would be great, and we'll hopefully not have a logjam here. Students, a little bit of education going on here. You have to come up in the order that you've been called and stand there in that same order. Please. Okay? So you gotta listen. If your name's being called, you need to know where you're at. It just helps. I have one great big stack of certificates, and if you don't come in that order, it just gets a little messy. So we'll begin our evening with the presentation of Academic Improvement Awards, and I would ask, please, Ms. Campbell to come and start that off. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm delighted to be able to announce the list of students who are earning an academic. Andrew Amus, Sebastian Aparicio, Julia Ballinger, Elin Blomquist. Marisol Calva, Elizabeth Godbout, Caleb Goudreau, Alexi Gay, Hannah Johnson. Patricio Curry, Justin Laforce, Sean La Rochelle, Lynn Lee, Thomas Liao. Lorraine Leong, Abigail Murray, Esteban Navarro, Vanam Goyen, Joseph Poulin. Melianne Reynolds, Nick Riom, Jasmine Richter, Timothy Smith. And finally, Patricio Tamayo, Tamara Terrius, Helen Udo.
Academic honor certificates are awarded to students who have achieved an overall average over 80% on the term report and have not received any unsatisfactory effort ratings during the term. Starting in grade 12, Dakota Albino, P.Y. Chung, Olivier Fauché, Trevor Grasby, Will Huckins. Morgan Ireland, Lorraine Leong, Paul Tang, Chloe Van Dyke, Mike Zhang. Grade 11, Marisol Calva Chalopa, Bethany Campbell, Amanda DeGrasse, Lucas Etienne, Caleb Goudreau. Alexi Gay, Henry Haas, Aaron Hinch, MK Kogetso, Marty Lefebvre. Brendan McCarthy, Elena Porter, Joseph Poulin, Jesse Sallow, Alexandra Smith. Tamara Tarus, Vincent Vayu, Tyler Vosniak, Nurkin Zaliobe. In grade 10, Andre Bucatel, Philip Filitro, Kieran Gallant, Emily Holmes, Fabio Jacobo. Karen Kazugi, Hugo Lecavalier, Lin Lee, Banam Nagwan, Melin Reynolds, Nick Rayom, Jasmine Richter, Bradley James Roy, Candice Tang, and Matt Johnson. In grade 9, Andre Afanasyev, Julia Ballinger, Mariama Berry, Alexi Daniel, Corey Goudreau. Cole Huckins, Justin LaForce, Carlos Santascoy, Sam Smith, Jeremy Tremblay, Josh Tremblay, Tammy Wood Downey. In grade 8, Logan Bayos and Crystal Lynn. And lastly, in grade 7, Elizabeth Godbott.
Head certificates and academic pins are awarded to students who have achieved an overall average of 85% on the term reports and have not received any unsatisfactory effort rating during the term. In grade 12, Florence Obe, Mohamed Lamine Berry, Elin Blomquist, Yiming Chang, Shalan Don. Simonetta Gomon, Yifi Bill Wang, Aichen Christine Jin, Chakfeng Dixon Lung, and Katia Lee. Jessica Lozano Schmidt, Maude Poulain Labelle, Sakurako Susaki, Rina Takahashi, Amy Wu, Maximilian Worster. In grade 11, Allison Barlow, Alexis Bernier, David Breton, Alexander Campbell. Quentin Dassault-Bietron, Samuel Feldman, Maya Goodrow, Yuking Amanda Guo, Karen Huang. Hannah Johnson, Camille Longchamp, Julia McClellan, Yi Ling and Gwen, Thomas Scarfone. Dahlia Sirhan, Timothy Smith, Mackenzie St. Pierre, Ki Yuan Eric Wang. In grade 10, Lucianne Botten, Rosalie Gadoua-Giroux, Jane Gervais, Nanking Ivy Hu, and Audrey Morin. Charlotte Riddle, Dongmin Ellie Sun, Helen Yudo, Yanyuan Joy Zhao. In grade 9, Fritz Dietrich, Laurence Frenette, Xiaolan Naomi Lin, Jaden Mullins. Esteban Navarro, Nicholas Pokora, Victoria Ruff, Ryan Young. In grade 8, Yuhong Nathan Gao, Lorelei Grenier, and Emanuela Udo. In grade 7, Gustavo Armendariz Barragan, Christine Breton, Dominic Pokora, and Simone Ruff.
Chair's List certificates and academic pins are awarded to students who have achieved an overall average of 90% on the term and have not received any unsatisfactory effort ratings during the term. Congratulations to all of you. In grade 12, Alexander Bim, Kaiying Iris Huang, Guiyao Ma, and Laura Udo. In grade 11, Audrey Choi, Olivier Daniel, Rosemary Ladouceur, Philippe Martel. Also in grade 11, Van Hong Pham, Emily Willis, Samuel Willits, and Patrick Young. In grade 10, Andrew Bouchard, Matthew Campbell, Catherine Foulem, Jeremy Gagnon, Oscar Haas, and Ji Yang Liu. It's your advising, Ms. Hession. In grade 9, Andrew Bim, Sophia Farfan, Marianne Picard, Shushu, and Dingyi Alicia Wang. I give special congratulations to the two youngsters in grade 8, Cynthia Zhang, and in grade 7, Justin Bouchard.
To conclude the evening, certificates of achievements are awarded to students who have achieved the highest cumulative term average in their grade and have not received any unsatisfactory effort rating during the term. So I will start with the junior school in grade 7, 8, 9, Justin Bouchard, Xinyu Zhang, et Marianne Picard. And now, in the senior school, in grade 10, 11, and 12, Matthew Campbell, Rosemary Bouchard, et Ma Guyao. She's coming.
Congratulations to everybody, and if there's any other students who want to take a selfie with Kelly, but I really can't think of better advice. I know there's a lot of students out here who are maybe going through some of the same debates, internal debates that you went through. So if you are interested in having a word with Kelly afterwards, she's agreed to stay around for a little while, and I guess you can bring your camera too. But thank you again, Kelly, and it was a great evening, and we really appreciate you being here. Over to Mr. Blair for closing remarks.
Well, I'd like to conclude by thanking all the teachers and advisors for all your extra help and effort. This level of success won't happen without your support and enthusiasm, so thank you all very, very much. There's only a few short weeks to go. One last push before exams, right? And then we get to go on a summer break. I wish you all the best of success in this final term. Work hard. Please stand.